Hello friends, this is Professor Pratap and Shinde. Welcome you all for the lecture series of engineering mechanics. So this is our second lecture. So in this lecture we are going to learn some definition and some important concepts. So what is engineering mechanics? What is particle? What is body? What is triangle law? What is law of parallelogram? So that's some concepts we are going to learn. So first unit is system of forces. So let's begin with the definition of mechanics. What is mechanics? It is a branch of science which deals with the study of forces and their effects on bodies, either body is in rest condition or in motion. Engineering mechanics. So here in engineering mechanics, we have to study the different laws and principle of mechanics which is applied to the engineering problems. In engineering mechanics, we have to learn some different laws and principles which are applied to the engineering problems, that is called as a engineering mechanics. Now the question must be arise in your mind, why we have to learn this subject? Yes, this subject plays very important role for study the different higher level subject, as well as to analyze the different structures, maybe the machine parts, maybe the your high-rise building structure, maybe the bridges or civil engineering structure, as well as some mechanical engineering structures, as well as aeronautical engineering structure also, for the analysis of aeroplane, what are the different pressures or different forces which are coming over the plane, that also analysis with the help of this subject. Knowledge of this subject forms basic for other advanced subject like machine design, mechanics of material. Then what is force? I think all of you know this definition. Force is nothing but the physical agency which change its the state of rest of a body. What is inertia? In an ability of body to change its state. Okay, now move towards the classification of mechanics. Mechanics is divided into two parts. One is the mechanics of solid and one is the mechanics of fluid. So mechanics of fluid, in this semester it is beyond our scope, so we don't have to consider this mechanics of fluid. This is you have to learn in second year level or the SE level, we can say that. Then mechanics of solid is again divided into two parts. One is the mechanics of rigid body and another one is the mechanics of deformable body. Again this deformable body is beyond scope for FY BTech. Okay, so forget about this mechanics of solid you are going to learn in second year level of BTech. So mechanics of rigid body. So all of you know what is rigid body. A body does not change its shape and size after application of force, or the particle does not deform or they does not displace after application of force, that is called as a rigid body. So rigid body is defined again divided into two parts. One is the statics, another one is the dynamics. Dynamics is divided into two parts, kinematics and kinetics. What is statics? Statics is nothing but it is branch of engineering mechanics which deals with the study of forces when body is in rest condition. Okay, got it? Study of forces when body is in rest condition is statics. Study of forces when body is in motion is a dynamics. Again dynamics is divided into two parts, kinematics and kinetics. In kinematics we don't have to, kinematics is a branch of dynamics which deals with the study of forces when body is in motion without considering mass of the body and force which cause the motion. Here we don't have to consider the mass as well as force of the force which cause the motion. In kinetics we have to consider force as well as mass of a body, force which cause the motion, that also we have to consider. Okay, so these are the definitions that we have already discussed. Now what are the basic concepts? So basic concept is a Space, time, mass, force. So these are the some basic concept is required while study of engineering mechanics. What is space? It is marking the position of point. The area on both sides of a line of action is called as a force. If let's say that this is one line, okay, and the area on both sides of this line above and below is known as a space. Then time is for the to relate the sequence of event. Displacement, velocity, acceleration are called the events. Initial and final displacement are the two events which is related with the time. As particle p moves in a space, the position displacement varies with the time. The motion of a particle is completely defined if we know the displacement x as a function of time. What is particle? This is important definition of particle. Definitely it will be appear in your examination. Particle, a point without dimension but matter or some amount of mass but no dimension is called as a particle. Now body. A body is defined as a portion of matter which is limited in all direction. It contains the dimension as well as the mass. It is body. So difference between particle and body: particle is having no dimension, body is having dimension. Both are having the masses. But rigid body, we have already discussed rigid body. A body which does not change its shape and size after application of force is known as rigid body. For you I will read out: a body in which particles of which are fixed in a position relative to one another, even subjected to a number of forces. It does not deform when subjected to number of forces. Now we have to learn some basic principles of applied mechanics. Law of parallelogram of force, principle of transmissibility, Newton's law of motion, Newton's law of gravitation. These are the some principle we have to learn. So first is a law of parallelogram of forces. I think all of you learn this principle in 11th standard. Let's say that this principle is useful to find out the resultant of two concurrent forces. Always remember what is the application of law of parallelogram. Application is important for engineering point of view. Here law of parallelogram is applicable to find out this resultant R for the two concurrent forces. Here two concurrent forces, force P and Q. What is meant by concurrent? These two forces which are meeting at a same point A, that is called as a concurrent forces, or which is passing through the same point is called as a concurrent forces. And the resultant of these concurrent forces we can find out by using the law of parallelogram. This is the application of law of parallelogram. So what is resultant? A single force, this is R, which will replace the system of forces, or single force which will produce the same effect as that of the system of forces is called as resultant. Here R is the resultant of the two forces P and Q. Statement I will read out: if two forces are acting at and away from the point, at means A, away from A, away from point A, be represented in magnitude and direction by two adjacent sides of parallelogram. Here P and Q are represented the two sides of parallelogram. Then the diagonal of the parallelogram, this is R, which is passing through the same point of intersection, that is A, of the two forces represent the resultant in magnitude and direction. So here the diagonal of this parallelogram AC represent the resultant of force P and Q, which itself are the two sides of parallelogram. So we are going to now derive the equation. So here I have made some geometrical adjustment. From point C I have draw a perpendicular line on the extension of line AD, which will meet the extension at point E. So here now A, C and E is becoming the right angle triangle. Yes or no? Triangle A, C and E is a right angle triangle. Similarly, triangle CDE is also one of the right angle triangle. So now by using the Pythagoras theorem, what is Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse square is equal to sum of square of the two adjacent side of triangle. So here r square is equal to c square plus ae square, or we can say that ac square is equal to c square plus ae square. AC square is equal to c square plus ae square. But what is ae? AD plus DE. So I have replaced this AE by AD plus DE. Okay, now come towards this triangle CDE. Now this force is Q. I have drawn a parallel line from point D, which is parallel to AB. So if this angle made by the force Q with respect to P is alpha, if this line is parallel, then these two angles must be equal. This angle is alpha, therefore this angle must be alpha. Okay, now we have to find out what is DE. If you take the cos of alpha, what is cos of alpha? DE upon CD, adjacent upon hypotenuse. So cos of alpha. So we get the DE is equal to Q cos of alpha. Similarly, C is equal to Q sine of alpha. So substitute the value of C is equal to Q sine of alpha, and DE is equal to Q cos of alpha. Now what is the value of AD? AD is nothing but this AD is P. So I will substitute here AD is equal to P square. Now twice of AD plus D, that is twice of P, Q cos of alpha plus Q cos square alpha, and C is nothing but the Q square sine square alpha. Now if you observe these two terms, here common term is Q square. Q square, if you take common, then you will get the equation sine square alpha, Q square multiplied by sine square alpha plus cos square alpha, that is equal to 1. So your equation becomes R square is equal to P square plus twice of PQ cos of alpha plus Q square. So if you take the under root of both sides, you will get P square plus twice of PQ cos alpha plus Q square, or we can say that R is equal to P square plus Q square plus twice of PQ cos of alpha, where alpha is the angle between two forces. Remember friends, many students make the mistake over there. This alpha is the angle made by, or angle between the two forces, that is P and Q. Now if you want to find out the position of R with respect to force P, so you will get by equation tan of beta is equal to Q sine of alpha upon P plus Q cos of alpha. If we consider this tan of alpha, what is tan alpha? Sorry, tan of beta. Tan beta. If we consider the triangle ACE, tan is nothing but the opposite upon adjacent. So here what is opposite side? C is nothing but the Q sine of alpha, and this side is A is equal to P plus Q cos of alpha. So tan of beta, the angle made by the resultant with respect to force here P, will get you. So instead of that, you can replace here Q by P and P by Q. So you will get the angle made by the resultant with respect to force Q. So here the beta is the angle made by the resultant with respect to force P. Here instead of P, if you write Q, and here instead of Q, if you write P, angle made by the resultant with respect to Q you will get. Okay, so thank you friends, thank you for watching. So we will stop here.